It's Tuesday, Club Top Shot, lots going on. NBA playoffs. We're going to rip off some NBA playoff drafts on Underdog. We have the Knights of Degen Steedz dropping in real time tonight. What else do we have? We have Andy's long-awaited response to the Logan Paul Fractional site. We have NBA Top Shot drama. Of course, we always have NBA Top Shot drama. The Economist has tweeted, and everyone is upset. It's Club Top Shot. Let's do this. Andy, you're almost dressed like one of the dolls tonight. I feel like you got the
those are my doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be in character. I figured it'd be nice.
Jack, is that the TV in the background? This is, I hope I don't get this stream doesn't get rugged because TNT is like, this is, I like it though.
I can adjust it.
This is the most basketball I've watched in a while.
It's been set up like that. Sometimes I have the blur on. Cavs down 7, took them live. That's what I do.
What'd you get? Money line or spread?
No, I was thinking money line, but I don't think they come all the way back. They were plus 1,400 though, which is kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
What was the spread you got though?
12.5.
Oh, okay.
And Jack, are you coming off a heater? Did you have a $5,000 underdog pick'em slip the other night?
We hit 250 to win 5 Rizzies. I saw a tweet that said, the Knicks starting lineup. I was like, I've watched 81 of these games, and if I'm going to endure this absolutely meaningless one, I may as well throw in. So I was like, quickly over, topping over, Sims over, and then you got to pair with another game or team. So I just went to Mo Bamba and Markelle Fultz. The funny thing is, this isn't even the final stats. Sims had 14 rebounds, quickly had 12 assists. Bamba finished with 21 points. Toppin scored 42, and Fultz had 15 assists. It was like a non-sweat, that was the best part about the whole thing. I had that, and then Scheffler to win. I took him live, and so 2 non-sweats. You don't really have have runs like that. It's been a heater. I'm sure I'll give it all away very shortly. But
yeah,
for now,
are you unstuck on pick'ems now?
but for now, things are nice, and we're minting Steedz with our money.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. We have Andy back in the saddle to continue the Steedz metaphor tonight. Andy, has your voice recovered from last week?
Yeah, I'm still like a tiny bit congested, but I'm feeling a lot better. It was like a legitimate 7 days of being sick, basically like a Sunday to Sunday. It was tough.
Yeah, that does not sound fun. I feel like I've been seeing more people getting sick lately, colds, flus, all that stuff.
Yeah, it feels like it's going around.
And also, I mean, you weren't here last week. It was fresh off of the Logan Paul announcement. I know you were in the chat, kind of fending off. But do you want to make your kind of big public statement to Logan Paul? Has Fractional huddled? Have you guys decided how you're going to handle this?
Yeah, we're going to offer his brother a multi-million-dollar sponsorship. Try to pit the Pauls against each other, see what we can do. My hot take is that Fractional, just with zero investment, got one of the best possible spokesperson to be like vehemently supporting like the general field that we're working in. And I'm pretty confident that we can build the tech stuff better than they can. And so it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Well, you know how you've been on the Bankless podcast, and they'll do those, debates and roundtables. Do you think they could book you and Logan Paul for a debate on how fractionalized assets should be handled from a protocol standpoint?
I mean, I would love to. My DMs are open.
Yeah, there you go. Bankless, make that happen.
Yeah, I saw multiple people, as Matt says in the comments, about when I'm going to box Logan Paul. Logan Paul would annihilate me. It wouldn't even be close.
Yeah, but that's worth it for Fractional. The exposure.
Yeah, I do it
Fractional shorts, for sure.
For the people who aren't familiar what we're talking about, Andy, will you kind of explain what Logan Paul announced and the ways that Fractional is different?
Yeah, so he announced like their own kind of fractional ownership platform. It seemingly is more focused on real world stuff. Like there's some Pokemon cards and like a Giannis card and stuff like that. And there was a CryptoPunk. It's not like a protocol though. It's just like their platform to do this. I would say it's more like Rally Road than it's like Fractional in a lot of ways. They just also create cryptocurrencies that you trade with as the fractions, as opposed to with Rally Road, it's like shares of a LLC. But yeah, so pretty different in that sense, where Fractional is more like doing stuff at the smart contract level to legitimately fractionalize something, whereas what they have is just like a user interface trading tokens.
So they custody the assets and then they just like create an ERC20 or whatever kind of token and distribute those out?
Yeah, they custody the real world stuff in a vault. The NFT stuff, I have no idea how they do it, but they custody it and then they just like issue an ERC20 token.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, if anything, it's a good on-ramp too for people to jump out. And like you said, Rally Road has done very similar stuff. Let's just not forget when some of us among us were buying, fractions of dinosaur skulls from them. But yeah, I think, we were talking to the DMs. I think it's a great, organic marketing piece for Fractional, and for you to be able to highlight the differences and why some of that permissionless, trustless stuff is so important with these fractionalized assets.
Yeah, overall, I would say it feels pretty nice that someone I generally consider the Paul brothers, like they have a lot of faults, but they're pretty good businessmen. They know what they're doing. And so the fact that they want to spend their time doing this in any way is like pretty affirming to the stuff that I've been working on in a lot of ways.
Well, that's the thing.
Why do they need to be token backed? Is that to get it doesn't even get them around securities law, right?
I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I think they think it does.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Gotcha.
The custodying is a big issue from a legal standpoint. Also not a lawyer, but that's a big problem.
Yeah. Is anyone on here a lawyer? Just so we can get a proper answer.
No lawyer. We're not providing financial advice.
No. I mean, my guess, though, Mike, you as well, with all the floaty stuff, I bet you've had lots and lots of conversations with lawyers over the past year.
Oh, absolutely.
I would say people who don't have
legal
law
bills
degrees
are astronomical. I'm sure Andy's as well.
Yeah, people who don't have law degrees, Mike and I are probably up there as far as NFT lawyers go.
Yes.
I bet. I can only imagine. Yeah, and I mean the stuff too with like Logan Paul. I mean, he has such a massive platform that he can kind of just spin up these businesses and execute them in a successful way, just because he has the built-in user base and fan base to pull whatever a necessary amount of people is over there to make it successful. Kind of reminds me of, if we had a friend who was starting a chicken tender business, leveraging his brand to sell tendies, it's something along those lines.
What's interesting is the platform really hasn't done very much volume at all since it's launched. Actually, I was a little bit surprised.
Logan isn't pushing it enough. But Jack, how are the tendies gone?
Tendies are good. We've got good and bad news. Good news is that we're launching.
There's no good news. That took way too long to come up with the good news.
Good news is that we're launching this Saturday. Technically, if you went on a delivery app right now, you may or may not be able to participate in the soft launch. But the bad news is that we're not live in either of the Pete's home cities.
Wow.
So
what about Westchester, New York?
I thought you were going to say the bad news is they taste like shit.
No. So, all right.
The bad news is the food is just not good.
If you want to, this is what's funny. So I ordered. So it went live soft launch at 1:00 on Saturday. So I ordered at 1:08, like a little freak show that I am. And so they obviously had no clue what was going on, I would imagine. They didn't even have the cheese sauce yet. This is a soft launch, whatever. And so the food shows up. The stickers are like all like not sticking to the thing, like they're thrown in the bag. They were missing 3 sauces. It's like a disaster from that front. It took 75 minutes because they have no clue what's going on. Like it's just the worst case scenario for delivery. And then you finally get to the food. The food presentation It looks terrible. Like the chicken sandwich looks like it was made in a cafeteria. But the good thing is the food was actually very good.
Okay. Yeah, you had us in the first half, but I'm glad you were able to stick the landing on probably the least inspiring promo I've ever heard for a new product.
Look, I've always been straight up on this forum before, so I'm sharing my honest thoughts. So the food's good, and if you order throughout the playoffs, you have a chance to go to the NBA Finals with me or without me. If you don't want me to join you, you can go without me.
Oh my God. Tell me the mechanics of this, because someone winning it and then passing on going with you would just be.
No, they win it. They win a trip to the finals, and I will go with them, and we'll do a whole video. If they don't want to go with me, then they can say that. But I would assume that people would want to go together. They like to sit with someone. So yeah.
Wait, are the two seats next to each other? Would they?
We haven't bought
bought
the tickets yet. We haven't bought the tickets
okay.
yet. But we have VIP codes for Mike and Andy, so I will be shipping those off. And when we come to Massachusetts, you're in Mass, obviously.
Yeah.
Close to Boston or like suburb?
Just outside of Boston. Okay. But I'm expecting Jack to show up with like in a chicken outfit and hand deliver them to my door.
And that's the only other kind of option at this point. So tendies, we're excited. Fran, I see. Where was Fran? Yeah, can I order in Chicago yet? I do believe we're in Chicago, so check and let me know. Some of the part of the soft launch is that all the locations aren't up yet, but by Saturday they will be.
Well, there we go. I'm excited to try my first Jack's tendies, and as Clay says, Jack rugs his own shit like no other. Let me give you a take two, Jack. Do you want to give a better sell on the Steedz going on here? I just
Steedz to the moon. I mean, you want to retire tomorrow. You mint a Steed. You mint a Steed. So the site is app.steeds.io.
Yeah.
You can't see, Pete. Is that right?
I just put it in the chat. That's what it is.
All right, thank you.
So don't click any Discord links.
Do I get like a whitelist for owning Knights?
If how many Knights do you have?
So I have 6, so it's giving me 2.
Yeah, if you have over 3, you get a free. Just you pay gas, I believe, and then if you have at least one Knight, you get 15% off mint price, and
15% off mint price. What's the mint price?
20% discount.
I think mint price is 0.1444, but are you already hooked? Yeah, here we go. And then so everyone except Andy likes the pack opening experience. So we rigged it up, and the reveal will be similar to a pack opening experience. So don't buy more than one, Andy, or you'll just have to reveal all on your Steed. But they're cool. And if you combine your Steed with your Knight down the line, it'll be like you have 3 characters in the ecosystem. Obviously, humans and robots riding the Steeds in the metaverse is the fun. Public sale on Thursday, also a good way to get in. Some would say like mutants to apes, Steeds to Knights.
And so are we going to be able to race these like Zed-run horses?
Only in a straight line. Only in a straight, never in a circle. But yes, the idea would be down the line. Okay, so Pete got, those are his 2 seats. So there's also different levels, like a legendary pack, elite pack, whatever. So Pete's got looks like a base and an elite. And the reveal's Friday. So
Friday. Okay.
You got to wait till Friday. But yeah, pretty cool animations.
Can we get a sneak peek of some of the rare traits?
Clay actually sent me over some photos earlier today. I can pull up a couple of these, but Jack, explain too for people, because I'll admit I have not done my 50 hours of research on the Steeds. What are these doing from a utility standpoint, or they are just truly something for my Knight to ride around on?
Oh, you want to talk utility? Okay.
I mean, I all I care about in this space is utility.
Right. Okay. I thought we were talking collecting. But if you want to talk utility as well, Steeds will have unique opportunities that even Knights won't have. I think one of the biggest, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, once again, being too honest here.
Just say whatever you want.
Yeah, but not financial advice. When a token may come down the line, one knight plus one steed may equal more than just two. So that's a big part of it. And yeah, just pairing them up from a collectible standpoint, I think is fun. A lot of the traits will carry over.
Here,
And they're pretty
Clay's
sick.
giving us some information down here.
Yeah, Clay's got accelerated benefit. I know what they do. I know what they do, obviously. But I think they're cool. I think they're cooler than the Knights, in my opinion. And they're half the supply. And for 0.14, floor is 0.5.
This one's pretty hot right here. This one's tripping out.
Yeah, that one looks like Andy on mushrooms, to be honest. In Brooklyn, just wandering around.
Then we got the VR one. This one, is this a seahorse?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I think they're cool. My perfect world, once again, not a lawyer here, not a coder, although put me with Melania Trump for a little bit. You never know how you walk out of that one.
Forgot about that.
You combine a knight and a steed like down the line, almost like the mutants, and something crazy happens. I don't know if you can do that because they're individual tokens. ERC 720, 721, a lot of ERCs going on.
ERC 720.
What?
I've never heard that. Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
that's crazy.
What do you mean? Are they not ERCs? Are they not ERCs?
It's just ERC.
No, but
There's only a few times where Andy gets literally flustered, but having Jack call him Irks, I think just set the dev rolling in his grave.
wait, we can abbreviate everything in life, but we can't call it an ERC. I know it's ERC, but
that's where I draw the line.
The orcs and the Irks, yeah. Let's see.
Can we talk about Rip
that?
Hamilton getting in? How did that happen? And he seems pretty into it.
Yeah, so our football, this is a big weekend for myself and all my entities that I'm involved with. So we got Steedz today. We've got Friday reveal, Saturday tendies, Saturday also the Knights of Degen football team goes live. So Mike, you would assume that a lot of athletes want to participate, but Rip Hamilton.eth is actually his name, not his username, but his name. He's like a huge NFT guy. And so he found Knights just from some of our connections, and he hopped in, and he's just crushing in the Discord right now, which is awesome. Because I don't think you would know him outside of basketball, but basketball fit. Actually, Pete, you're probably a good judge of this. I mean, but that he's more your time also.
I remember watching Rip Hamilton play for UConn in March Madness. And who was the chubby little point guard that they had at the time too? You guys know who I'm talking about? He was the other guy.
Oh, at UConn?
Yeah.
Jack wasn't born yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone in the chat will point
Also,
out.
that's the funniest part is like when you guys are like, yeah, Jack's so young. Like Andy's like 8 years older than me. I think he's got me by like 3 months.
Yeah. Thank you, Khalid LMB.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
So please don't question my Rip Hamilton knowledge here. It goes very deep. Anyways, so did he like, just be completely honest, did he find the Knights like just organically on his own, or you guys reach out to him?
One day he followed me on Twitter and I was like, okay, that's pretty weird. But I think Jared may know him from Thuzio potentially, but I honestly have no clue. Some athletes obviously we work with in a capacity. His feels more organic from my understanding, but I'm sure a lot of things we'll see is like similar to Top Shot. Once they come into the ecosystem, then we'll, work
wet their beak a little bit, wet their seahorse.
Yeah, wet their
There
seahorse.
There you go. Get him a few
but
steeds.
He's not a De'Aaron Fox type. So
I would hope that.
That's important.
That's the most important.
Yeah, I haven't heard from De'Aaron Fox in a while.
Well, now that they're out of the playoffs, maybe he has more time for
to engage with his biggest fan.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm actually trading 10 hours a day now, guys. I'm sorry. I don't have time to send 4 Discord messages a week.
Andy,
Once he retires.
who'd you give your court sides to tonight? I mean, playoff game. I know the show is priority, but it's a good game.
I actually thought about going to this game, but the show was priority.
Yeah, I want to save a little of the NBA talk for Pete because he is going to roll in a little late, and I know Pete doesn't want to miss any of that. There's been a lot. I know things rebounded slightly today, but the crypto markets were down pretty bad over the weekend. I saw some, the thesis being that everyone was holding out, hoping crypto would rebound to sell their coins to pay taxes. And then everyone realized it wasn't rebounding, and then everyone sold to pay their taxes. I mean, Andy, are you buying that narrative at all? You had the tweet about Ali, kindly letting down lots of crypto people know how much money they had to pay.
I generally tend to not subscribe to a lot of the larger narrative stuff around taxes or Chinese New Year is a big one, different things like that. I think if we were in a significantly different set of market conditions and the couple days before tax day, things tanked, it would feel maybe a little bit more real, but I feel like the market's been pretty tough for a while, and so it rallied a little bit prior to this, but it's still been relatively bear markety for a bit. So I don't know. I haven't really been moving much crypto around at all over the last month or two. Just kind of chilling and buying some NFTs here and there and farming.
Yeah. What anything hot these days for you in the NFT or farming streets?
I bought a Noun, which was exciting.
Oh, I did see that.
Oh, the hot dog.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's been a long time coming. I've been talking to the owner for a while, setting up an OTC deal. The hot dog just felt right. Now I just need a beer one. That'll get me a good duo of a hot dog and a beer.
And so you've wanted this specific one for a long time?
I've more so explicitly wanted a Noun for a long time.
Yeah.
I like the hot dog ones a lot. I had been pretty actively monitoring the auctions every day to try to find one that I liked. But just being relatively picky, no particular one was oh wow, that one really stands out. But I have a proposal I want to submit to the Nouns DAO, and so for Fractional, and so I wanted to get in, and so I was tired of waiting, and so I just bought one from someone who I had an outstanding offer to buy one from.
And remind me the mechanics of the Noun. Is there one minted, or there's an auction for one every day? Is that correct?
Yeah, so every day a Noun is auctioned off. Currently the auctions are going from anywhere from 40 ETH to 80 ETH, depending on what they look like and all of that. Most are going in the 60 to 70 range, 50 to 70 range. The treasury at this point has $70 million worth of Ethereum in it. Some just ludicrous number of Ethereum, 23,000 Ethereum or something. And yeah, one Noun is one vote in the Nouns DAO. And so the idea is that it's one Noun a day forever.
That's crazy. I wish I could come up with a business model where I release one pixelated image that's worth 70 ETH every day forever. It would seem like a good business model.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
So did you buy from someone, Andy, or you bought a new?
Yeah, I bought from someone.
And who gets the one that's released every day?
It's an auction. So every 10 days, one goes to the Nounders, which is the Nouns founding team.
But it can't be an ERC token, but Nounders just rolls off the tongue.
It's like founders, Nounders. But yeah, the Nouns are auctioned off and all the proceeds go to the Nouns treasury.
Fran wondering when fractional owners of Noun number 11 will be able to participate.
In Fractional V1, you cannot participate in Noun's DAO governance, but in Fractional V2, which may or may not be why I needed to buy a Noun to make a proposal for Noun's DAO, will be able to participate in Noun's DAO. That is a work in progress.
It's all coming together. Peter Jennings, welcome to the show. Coming off what sounded like it was a tough Masters weekend for you. You were incredibly snippy and short with me on our Underdog stream last week. Are you in a better mental health space now?
How was I snippy with you?
You were just a real fucking prick to me, Pete.
What,
In
for
front of-
criticizing you?
Yes, Pete. I expect nothing but flattery and kindness from the mayor. And you
Are words of affirmation your love language, Pete?
They are.
They're
And,
my girlfriends, that's for sure.
No,
There's something new.
it was
You
fun.
had like all these like layup spots, and you're like trying to engage the audience, which great job influencing. But I mean, you gotta be able to see. It was like black and white your decisions, and you were like debating things.
Well, and I mean, just to pull back the curtain, Pete, I'm trying to host a stream here with, 19 different best ball influencers playing point guard, trying to get them in space, ask them about their team, engage the chat, fix the StreamYard issues. And then Pete's mad at me for not seeing an obvious pick I was supposed to make. I think you're being a little hard on me.
Yeah, you're the point guard. I get you have a lot going on. You're reading the defense, but then you have freaking Anthony Davis wide open for an alley-oop, and you're like, where should I pass it? What do I do here? Like, come on.
You're right. I'm sorry. On my first ever NBA dance draft, I should have
That's fair. You can't name that many NBA players, so I get that that's the hard part.
Oh,
Khalid El-Amin, though, he can
Yeah,
name.
Khalid El-Amin. I'd like to see you name that one, Pete.
Dude, I love
how was
you.
your...
I'm sorry, because I care deeply about you, and I would never want to insult you. I think it was the booze talking more than
No,
anything else.
You're more on the pacifist scale of things, and you're a little more short on that stream.
I was chippy, and yeah, I lost a lot of money on the Masters. So yeah, maybe hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I'm doing great. Sorry I'm late. Was with the baby and doing a variety of things around the house. But I'm happy to be here, and a lot of interesting stuff. I want to hear market perspectives and Top Shot perspective and a whole bunch of stuff. The Noun I was going to ask about why not more Azukis, but Andy just answered that for us.
Yeah, Pete, do you own an Azuki?
No, just another huge whiff on my part. I talked to Deez about it for a long time too. I mean, Bored Apes and Azukis are my two that just haunt me every day.
Yeah,
it's bad. Mike, you own any Azukis?
Nope, I'm with you.
Yeah. Mistakes were made. Big mistakes were made.
My cope is strong.
Everyone take just a quick moment of silence for none of us except Andy getting an Azuki.
I literally, let me find it.
That was a quick moment of silence.
I have a Steedz, though.
yes,
we do
Let's
have
go,
Steedz.
Mike.
Steedz are our generation's Azukis.
Yeah, hopefully Pete's it'll be Apes, Azuki's, Steedz as his next big regret.
SE calling for Azuki flipping apes. Lots of Azuki bullishness in the chat tonight.
Can I read this? This is actually really good.
Yeah.
From Deez. I send him the tweet. Picked up another comfy Azuki hoodie sig. I send him the tweet and I say, shill me. Checking these out. Looking at a couple like 3-4 ETH.
Can we get a
Deez
date on this, DM?
He says, stack team, good art. I like them when I'm sober and high. Which at that point, I should have just said, that's a no-brainer, slam dunk.
When is he sober?
And I said, and then my donkey comment,
Really
pretty
maybe?
expensive already, 3 or 4 ETH. I mean, come on. Not going to make it. Just not going to make it.
Yeah, not good. What was the time? What was the date on that DM, Pete?
January 23rd. Ouch.
So
Ouch.
I will say I was in Florida around that time, and I remember the market. It was not pretty. Like no one was buying anything. Doodles were low. Clone X was 2 ETH. Like so, it's not like it was a bull market and we were looking at things early. Like it was everything was going down. Yeah, that's my big regret. I didn't buy clones at that point. They're 27.
Yeah, they went back up real quick.
Nice little 27 ETH floor there. So does that? I mean, are they now firmly the third project as far as PFP projects after
So
Apes?
Actually, based on like floor times total supply, CloneX are higher. Because the
Interesting.
CloneX floor, I think, is in the teens, high teens. And they have 20,000 supply instead of 10,000.
Okay.
So they're technically higher. And Mutant Apes, same thing because of the 20,000.
Gotcha.
So
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I think it puts them. I think they're strongly in fifth. I think it's Apes, Punks, Mutant Apes, CloneX, Azuki, as far as just like floor times total supply.
Are they a blue chip in your opinion?
I think so.
I feel like Mike will say no. Let's hear.
I have no comments on.
No comments at this
We're
time.
not talking cool cats, Mike. I mean, you can chime in here, no?
Mike, didn't you hear Azuki now has a licensing partnership with the NBA?
What do you mean?
Mike's like, wait, what?
Mike's like, what? Did I?
I
miss
mean,
it?
I don't know. The NBA is getting up to some weird shit with their
Yeah.
licensing and trademarks right now.
Let's talk about that because there's this new Twitter account that went up. What is it? NBAxNFT? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And you were saying they already have a couple deleted tweets. Like what?
Mhm.
So what's going on with this account?
So they first put up a tweet that said we have like an announcement at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern with like one of these emojis, like we're so secretive. And then
The quote tweets about that were funny. They were like, "Oh, they're clearly on NBA Top Shot time because it was like 30 minutes late."
Yeah.
An hour late.
Then suddenly it's 4:30 Eastern. No updates since then. And then that tweet was deleted. Then they put up another tweet saying join the Discord, something like this. And then they deleted that one. And now they've put up a join the Discord, and the NBA is quote tweeting it. So things have gone better. Then they let people into the Discord, and the first 10,000 people in the Discord, they gave some OG role to, which God knows what that does. And I know very little else beyond that.
From my experience, I'm pretty sure I have the OG role in the Budweiser Discord, and I don't think that ever did anything for me.
I was supposed to get a shirt for that, and it never arrived.
Oh, really? I think I'm
Yeah.
an OG in the Looks Rare Discord too. So I'm still waiting for my perks on that. But
Whenever
yeah,
they drop a token, that'll be huge for you.
yeah. Hey, I mean, they did finally get rolled out their auto compounding with the WETH rewards, which was
They've been
pretty
crushing it.
nice there.
I like legitimately prefer using it right now to OpenSea. They like their indexing and pulling up your NFTs and stuff is that legitimately just better than OpenSea's.
I was gonna say because that's a big thing with Looks Rare was people reflexively breaking their OpenSea habits, but it sounds like you've been able to kind of cross that.
Yeah, I'm at least getting there. I wouldn't say I'm 100% there.
Yeah.
But I would say I tend to at this point. If I'm going to buy, I use Gem or Genie.
Yeah.
If I'm just like going to browse my NFTs, I've been going to Looks Rare a lot more because they are faster and snappier when actually pulling up my collection and stuff. A lot of times when I go to OpenSea and I go to like the sort by or like filter by project or collection, it just doesn't really work. And on Looks Rare it works fine, which is nice.
Yeah. I haven't been in the NFT streets much. Yeah, this is Mans's account here. He's kind of a minimalist. He did get the Mans Tubby Cat.
He only collects what he loves.
He does. You know, he's really specific, and he doesn't really buy into these pump and dumps. You know, he buys stuff that he thinks is going to have, you know, major staying power over the years. Let's see. Yeah, Pete, before you came out, I mean, Andy was talking a little bit about maybe potential tax ramifications for the market dumping. Do you think that might be contributing to things?
Yeah, some people are talking about it. I retweeted something that was similar. I don't know. I mean, there's so many. It's probably the hardest macro environment to figure things out since I can remember. Obviously, I haven't been around that long, but it's tough. Interest rates, I mean, that's the big thing I'm watching. We have inflation, so they're going to do everything they can to get real rates closer to zero. We're way away from that. So it seems like it's inevitable that rates are going to go up. You have the war. you have taxes, you have all these different things that are impacting crypto specifically. How much do you guys think the conference actually matters? It feels like when these big conferences happen, things dump like almost always.
Bearish? I don't know.
I don't know
think
why
it
that happened. It's happened like so many times in a row now. Do you guys have any opinion on that, or is that just a random thing?
I do agree that I've seen that, but I don't know if I have a take on it.
Yeah, I don't know. We had the Miami conference. I don't know. I'm just desperately trying to figure it out. Andy had the tax thing. Did Mike chime in at all? Jack?
I paid my taxes.
Okay, Mike.
I did enough on Sunday. I spent like 11 hours on Sunday. Woke up early, committed the whole day to taxes to file an estimate, but I definitely need an extension. So I've done enough to at least buy me the next 6 months, and then I will finish my taxes.
Do you have a macro take at all of what's going on?
Just generally
crypto,
with
but just in
crypto
general.
markets.
Not even crypto, all markets. Just macro, econ. Welcome to Michael Levy's fireside chat.
Inflation is going bonkers right now, as we all kind of knew it would, and so the Fed's going to push rates to slow things down.
So that just means risk-on assets are going to get hit because of that, and risk-on assets were the beneficiary of very loose policy.
Yeah, but a lot of people are moving into like very protected, like self-storage assets are going kind of crazy right now, and typically in a rising rate environment, valuations of real estate assets will come down because people use debt financing to acquire them. And if the cost of debt goes up, your return goes down. And so you can afford to pay less for the asset if you want similar returns. But there's really nowhere else people are comfortable parking their capital right now. And the angle for things like real estate is you'll be able to push your rentals up pretty significantly for as long as inflation is raging. And so people are still comfortable paying a decent price for that. But it's a lot of factors coming together at once, as you say. And so, there's some reasons to be bullish on hard assets, some reasons to be bearish. And it's definitely a difficult and confusing environment and market right now between, as you say, taxes and people trying to ensure they're liquid to pay taxes, inflation going nuts, the Fed taking steps to curb inflation, and it's going to be an interesting next few months. I really don't know where things are headed.
Yeah. Our friend Justin Hertzik, who was on the show last week, posted a tweet about it's been a decade since mortgage rates were this high. And as someone who's looking for a new home right now, I would welcome increased mortgage rates if it would, limit the amount of people trying to make offers for a singular house right now. It's just absolutely stupid. The housing market right now. Any other thoughts on that macro stuff, Pete?
Man, I still think some of these companies are a lot stronger than maybe the markets. I mean, I guess that was priced in before, but I do think a lot of these companies are sitting pretty specifically some of the big FANG stocks. And yeah, I mean, I was talking with a buddy who's pretty plugged in and heard some wild stories about some of the PPE loans and different things. So yeah, a lot of liquidity is getting sucked out of the market, which is challenging too. So it's hard. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the best way to protect yourself is in this environment, but definitely something I'm thinking about a lot. I guess the best way to do it is get in plus EV games on Underdog, like the dance.
There you go. Yeah, we're gonna hop in a few of those in a little bit. One other narrative as it pertains to the NFT markets, as Frank is alluding to here, everyone waiting for the retirement birds. He is referencing this Moonbirds raffle that's going to go down, I believe, on Friday. This is the Kevin Rose spinoff project off of their Proof Collective, and this is going to be a PFP project. And a little controversial. I know they kind of switched how they were planning to do this drop. Now you need to have 2.5 ETH in your wallet and then win a raffle. Andy, do you buy this narrative that it's kind of, holding up the NFT markets as everyone keeps their wallets loaded for this raffle?
I actually kind of do to a certain extent. I think the people who are generally just trying to flip NFTs for gain basically know that free money for the most part.
Not
It's basically
financial
free
advice?
money. Yeah, not financial advice. If you win this raffle, it's probably a free $10,000. And so I do think there's like a very legitimate reason to be like holding back and waiting to see how that all plays out. And so there's this level of kind of just like wait and see with Moonbirds, where you want to be liquid for when that eventually launches and all of that. I do worry a little bit. Like, I don't remember the last time a project as hyped as this has done super well in the short term. But we also haven't really had a situation where like it's been a team of doxed, very successful people running a very successful paid Discord who are doing it. So it's hard to say. But I do think that to a certain extent, there's probably, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of entries in this raffle. It's probably like 100,000 or something, I bet. And so that's a lot of Ethereum that's just kind of sitting and waiting.
In Pump bringing up a thing, I know lots of people were worried about how these raffles have perhaps been, you know, gamed in the past with people securing the spot, then moving the ETH to another wallet. And the team, and as Pump highlights here, they've said that you can't move the ETH out of your wallet or you wouldn't qualify. So hopefully their kind of internal checks and scans for this are doing as good of a job to make this as fair as possible. Do you guys have any ideas, guesses on how many people you think meet the qualifications for this raffle?
Somewhere between 50 and 100,000.
Yeah. So putting your chances at
how many people or how many wallets?
Wallets. I'm wondering my true odds, and that would be somewhere between 10 to 20%.
I would say so.
Yeah. Seems like a fair gamble. Jack, did you load up a
wallet? Are they only
the
raffling off like 7,500?
Oh, you're right. It's less than 10,000.
Yeah, because proof owners get 2 per, and then they're holding some back or something like that.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts?
7 ETH raffle? Is that what you guys are talking about?
2.5. 2.5 ETH is what you need. That's how much it will cost if you win the raffle, and you have to have that in your wallet.
But it's guaranteed to be like what? 7 ETH?
Well, that's what Andy's not financial advice was hypothesizing. But Andy's not alone in that sentiment that people are very frothy for these.
But it's a free to play. You just have to hold the 2.5 ETH.
No, you have to buy it.
Yeah, you buy it for 2.5.
Oh, so you can end up with 0.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an expensive gamble.
But I mean, Jack, are you familiar with the Proof Collective and what that is trading at right now?
Wait, but Jack, just to be clear, if you don't win the raffle, you get your 2.5 back.
Yeah, it's a free roll.
That's what I was asking. Okay.
Oh yeah.
How do I join?
Way too late.
You missed the window.
Yeah.
You want to join the Proof Collective? It'll just cost you a cool 82 ETH right now. This is.
We had a couple people in the Fractional team Slack who bought Proof when it launched, and they were like, one of my teammates, he's a huge Kevin Rose fan, and he was just shilling it hard to me, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna pay 2 ETH for a paid Discord chat.
Yeah,
sure thing, dude. Like, for a guy who I don't really know or care about, yeah, good idea. And clearly that didn't go too well for me, but you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, and so now this is kind of served as a proof of concept for people that these guys can deliver. Only 1,000 for that one. They wanted to expand, let people into the community. I mean, when your floor is 82 ETH, I guess that kind of gives you a green light to do another project.
Is that another? Are they saying that Proof is better than Nouns, or Nouns are better than Proof?
I don't know if this has ever been a point of comparison.
I mean, it's probably something to discuss.
So Kevin Rose is a really good. I actually want to talk about the membership passes a little bit, but Kevin Rose deserves a lot of credit. I know all of these docs, VC, popular people end up being a bit polarizing, but I've really enjoyed his Modern Finance podcast broadly and listened to a lot of his content. And I remember when they were first launching this, and I kind of had the same thought as Andy, like, am I really going to pay 2-3 ETH? And I was a pretty big Kevin Rose fan. But it really is an interesting thing. I mean, we saw a lot of SaaS companies really explode through the last decade. And now we have this membership pass concept that's taking off in a pretty decent way throughout Web3, Proof being by far the most successful. But what do you guys think about this? Like, you're hardcore into some project, or, you know, there's some membership that you're really excited about. What do you guys think about these membership passes?
I mean, I don't know how it fully works, but it reminds me of the Telegram group we're in, which obviously there's no technical paid cost to be in it, but there's obviously, you need to own an NFT to be in it. So like, there's a ton of alpha in that group. I think so. So I would assume this is probably something similar, and it makes sense. Like, if you have the funds to trade on this stuff and the value you could get outside of NFTs from just the people you're meeting in the group, I would assume it's probably worth it to a lot of, I mean, it's only 1,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's probably,
but basically,
yeah,
the membership pass was like a subscription, right? So let's say you're excited about subscription that you're buying and it's limited. Well, in the event that that subscription becomes more valuable to people, that's the upside, is that you're buying a pass that, you know, could appreciate in value. But at the same time, it can work the other way. Andy, Mike, Pete, do you guys have any perspective on these membership passes?
Yeah, I've grown increasingly more bullish on them personally. I think my kind of qualm with Proof when it launched was at the time it was generally just like marketed as like a paid Discord chat pass. And I think that was like intentional for both legal reasons and other reasons. But like, if I had known that it was going to be what it has turned into, I would have felt differently about it. Obviously, like, regardless of price, just like, hey, we're going to be launching all these different things and stuff. But it's like, I don't really care about the like conferences and shit like that. That doesn't matter to me. But I think in general, like, these things don't really need blockchain in a lot of ways. Like, you could do this exact same thing without it really being on the blockchain. And I don't think it would really matter that much. But it's more just like, we are doing that now. And the idea of these like really, really exclusive paid groups is kind of like, oh yeah, no shit. Like, what if you took Soho House and like ramped it up another level to where it cost $500,000 to get in, and everyone who was in it was really cool and they were making like a fuck ton of money? Like, yeah, that sounds pretty nice.
So the beauty of it is that it's public. The only reason why it needs to be an NFT is so that it is publicized, because they have CEO groups, they have coaching, like they have a lot of, I'm sure, what you're gaining from that. But being able to share and people track what is the perceived value is, I think, probably half the value of it is the fact that it is an NFT.
Rarely do I push back or disagree with Andy. This might be one of my opportunities here. I most likely am wrong, but yeah, like Link style is interesting for another, you know, as a kind of example for this. But I would argue, Andy, there is a reason why the blockchain and it being an NFT is valuable, and that it's liquid. It's, you know, something that you can sell 24/7, 365. Whereas, you know, if you're, you know, there's a high-end golf membership that I know of it's called the Captain's Club. If you ever wanted to get out of the Captain's Club, like, what are your options? Whereas with these, like, you can actually go and sell your membership. So that's where,
yeah, but you can like make a database and just like make a marketplace on top of your database, and it's no
Sure.
different.
But I agree with you, and that's the next thing is like, yeah, you can make markets and stuff like that. But do you think people would feel comfortable, and do you think that you'd have the same amount of eyeballs? Because then yeah, your argument is valid. But then how many eyeballs are you going to get on that marketplace?
Yeah.
Whereas,
no, I agree. That's the value
eyeballs.
is that it's like this super public thing where it's like, oh shit, I know exactly who is paying how much to get into this very exclusive group.
Yeah.
And that's enticing.
Well, and a lot of, you know, other exclusive, you know, clubs, you do country clubs, or I have a buddy who's on a wait list for a boat slip. And every time he goes and checks it, he's on the boat. It's like, why couldn't those be something where whoever wants to pay to get there, and you could put your slip up for sale, or otherwise, you know, I think the way that this, like Pete was saying, transforms it into a liquid marketplace is really what makes it interesting. And you wonder if Proof Collective wasn't an NFT and they just capped it at 1,000 and they sold out. Like, yeah, it just does seem harder to signal kind of how collectively the community is valuing that specific, access.
Andy's right as usual, but that, to me, that's one of the cool things, because I've had a lot of these conversations with like traditional finance people, and what ends up coming about with NFTs and crypto in general is like it's been an amazing source of liquidity, and maybe that can be replicated in some other ways. But to me, that's like part of what's driven all of the recent success we've seen in the last year. I don't know if you guys have a different perspective, but that to me is a big part. I mean, the blockchain technology is obviously amazing for trust, and there's a variety of reasons in which, you would choose blockchain over, just having a public database or, a centralized database. But the liquidity, and I guess maybe the argument would be, well, if you had, a centralized database with a ton of liquidity, you could create the same thing. I don't know. What do you think on that, Andy?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like it's one of those things where it's like, does it need to be an NFT? No. But were people doing this prior? Also no. Like, people weren't making digital collectibles that were highly liquid. The best example, honestly, is like the Steam, like the CSGO gun marketplace, like gun skin marketplace on Steam. And that was like actually a highly liquid market where like the people who were good at it were making millions of dollars a year, like trading skins for CSGO weapons. And that's like probably as close as you could get to the NFT market for purely digital collectibles prior to crypto stuff. And so I think it's more just that like the infrastructure and everything you would need to build those things and support those things and maintain them were just like not made and not readily available. And like NFTs and crypto have like not only made that and made it readily available, but it's also 100% always online and completely global in a way that like even the Steam marketplace for weapons wasn't. And so I think that's like, I would agree that's like the big unlock here. And so it's one of those things where, I think there are particular things that like need to be on the blockchain or need to be an NFT or whatever. And it need to be an NFT is a bit of a stretch most of the time, but like are way better when they are because of just some like natural things that it unlocks. And so like, to me, this is one of those things, and like membership passes is one of those things where this could have happened 10 years ago. You could have had this, like everything that is happening with Proof Collective could have been a private company that made fully tradable access to everything they were doing that was not an NFT. But no one did it. And now you can, and you can do it very easily. And anyone else can also do this very easily. And that's a really big, it's like 0 to 1 unlock, is just the ability to do it very quickly and seamlessly. And if you can execute well, then you like have a lot of other barriers that aren't in the way anymore.
Yeah. And the liquidity, I mean, which is, to your point, the CSGO, and weren't there like boxes that you could gamble on? Or like, I remember, I never got into this, so I'm not, but weren't there things where you could like gamble on what you could get? Like you could potentially win some skins that were going for a lot and people were trading those. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't super deep in the market, but it was pretty degenerate. There was a lot going on.
People love to gamble. But then liquidity, I mean, that's from the DFS betting worlds, everyone talks about creating exchanges and how those would be great because you'd reduce the VIG and then you're not getting preyed on by these centralized organizations. And the challenge there is always liquidity. And we've seen a ton of these prediction markets pop up within crypto. And I'm hoping that some prediction market really takes off and is successful, but the liquidity element is a challenge. And I think that's one thing NFTs have specifically unlocked, and give a lot of credit to OpenSea too. I mean, there's just a massive, massive amount of liquidity. And that's a huge part for, driving these markets.
Mike, it's been a while since we've heard from you. We've had what I would call a typical week in the Top Shot universe, being a tumultuous week. Can you maybe set the table for people who haven't been following around closely? As I understand it, there was an accidental bottleneck with a reward challenge that made it very tough to complete after people invested a lot of money in that. The Top Shot economist for Twitter, or for Top Shot, who rarely tweets, came out and basically said people just need to be better traders. Can you fill in the blanks that I'm missing there from this setup, and give your take on what took place this week in Top Shot?
Yes. So I think it was December, Top Shot introduced the idea of these flash challenges. And I'm going very basic here. So if everyone wants more detail, just jump in. And the idea of the flash challenges is basically to add elements of sort of DFS and fantasy to Top Shot. And even though it's retroactive, that you kind of fill the challenge after the games are played rather than set a lineup in advance. You can sort of place bets on what you think is going to happen, and there are the challenge parameters are set before the game starts. So if you think a certain player has a better chance of being one of the players that's in the challenge at the end of the day, you could acquire their moments before the challenge, and that's your way of kind of making a DFS or fantasy style bet. And so what they've done for the last few months is the rewards for these flash challenges have either been packs or moments from a newly introduced set called Metallic Silver Fan Edition. And there have been, up through probably 2 weeks ago, there were 51 of these Metallic Silver Fandom Edition, or whatever it's called, MSFE, minted. And then they came out with an announcement saying there are going to be only 4 more of these over the remainder of the season. And then the set is going to be closed. And we are offering a challenge reward within this set where there are 4 different tiers. If you have every single MSFE moment with an edition size between 0 and 999, you get a Run It Back Series 1 pack. If you have every single MSFE moment with an edition size between 1001 and I think 3,999, so the next tier up, you get a With the Strip Series 1 pack. Then if you have the next tier up, you get, I think, an All-Star Game Elite pack. And the next tier up, you get an All-Star Game Standard pack. So everyone is excited about this. There were a few lower edition size moments already, the smallest one being a Scotty Barnes MSFE, which I think had an edition size of about 250. And so in response to the possibility of getting a Series 1 Run It Back pack, which a lot of people were excited about, the price of that moment has been very, very high. It's the bottleneck of the set across 51 moments. And this past weekend, they ran the final challenge of this MSFE set. And they did the wheel. Do we know what the wheel is, or should I explain what the wheel is? I'll explain. Explain. Okay, so the wheel is basically a way for Top Shot to establish the rules of that night's flash challenge. And so they have 2 levels to the wheel. They have different categories of things. For example, most field goals made in a given game, or I think 3 categories. They have games, Top Shot type of moment. So it's a specific game. Then you can say like MGLE from Series 1 or fandom tier or any Series 1 or whatever else it is. And then stat that matters. And so over the weekend, they did a wheel which establishes the parameters of the flash challenge. And there were a few potential outcomes where the reward size would be extremely small and create a new bottleneck on the last possible moment here. And there were a lot of people who had collected all 54 before that. And so what ended up happening is exactly that. The right sequence of events and games happened so that a new bottleneck was created that I think only has something like 160 editions, the Paul George Metallic Silver Fandom Edition. And so everyone who had collected 54 of 55 either had to pay an obscene amount of money for, so it was 169. So they have to pay an obscene amount of money for this, 5,850, or miss out on the Run It Back pack. And a lot of people were frustrated because they had invested a lot of money into getting this pack already, and they felt rugged because this was the last challenge of the season. And that's kind of the summary. So people were very upset about that. Eric Froelich, I think, poker player, wrote a really, really long post about it, which I thought he brought up some good points where he basically said, he's like, look, you could have foreseen that this possibility existed based on the way the wheel was set up. And it's hard for you to say that the randomness of the wheel is what led to this. Like, they set the parameters within the wheel that lead to the outcomes. And so he was frustrated about that. And he said there's a lot of people out there who have 54, and you could have done something like, if you had the previous Bottleneck, the Barnes in your collection, then you could use it as what's called a cheat code in the wheel, which means if you have that one moment, you get access to the last one. So short of it is, people were very, very upset because a new Bottleneck was created after everyone had already purchased a lot of assets, invested a lot of capital, and now there's this new thing people have to do. Or alternatively, people are going to say, okay, I'm no longer completing this set, I'm just going to fire sell everything. And a lot of people decided to do that, which then further hurt people who are holding those assets. And so people were very upset about that. And then I don't think directly in connection with this, but probably 6 months ago, there was a tweet from a Twitter account called Top Shot Econ or Economist.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what the Top Shot Econ said the first time, and then tweeted, I think, one time over the last 6 months. And you'd expect that in a time like this where values are coming down, and people are frustrated, we'd hear more from the person who was hired to keep the economy in decent shape, but they haven't really tweeted much. And then they basically came out, that's the tweet right there, on April 10th.
Yeah, he's replying to a tweet from AG, says, every sustainable collector economy has fandom or utility at its core. The stronger the core of fandom, the more sustainable and long-term investable the economy. It is true that not every asset in a healthy economy can be up only. And then here's the mic drop. That's where good trading decisions come in.
Yes. So people were obviously upset about that, basically saying anything you did on the Top Shot platform over the last 1 year would therefore be considered a bad trade. And you can imagine what the other responses were.
Yeah. So like where on...
Wait, also, what, and then didn't he FUD collector score too?
He just said, well, yeah, actually, that just came
I thought
over
that
on
was,
Pete's.
apparently that's what tanked the market. This is why we're revamping collector score. We know how important it is. There's we'll provide an update, and everyone's like, wait, what the fuck? We've been building towards this collector score for the past 6 months. And so, yeah, it's another mass exit from a lot of bigger account holders over the last few days.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I buy the narrative that this particular message hurt account values. The collector score hasn't really been a massive market mover for a while now. So I don't know if anyone's saying, I've been retaining my account value because of collector score. I think there's just overall negative sentiment, and people are looking to leave, and people like to attach a reason to why they're leaving.
So where for you, Mike, on the scale of, little mishap, we need to move on, or, this is another blunder on a pile of other blunders that are causing people to continually, doubt, Top Shot from, a more macro perspective? Where does this fall on that spectrum for you?
I think this is the inevitable conclusion of Dapper defining value of assets, whether in the form of collector score or in the form of these flash challenges, where they're basically saying, we're going to pull strings that determine the value of assets, and we're going to change that kind of on a whim. And I think the biggest challenge they have is their communication, and they're sticking with one way to approach the platform. And I think they're in this kind of Frankenstein version of, are we a collecting platform? Are we a fantasy platform? Are we a betting platform? Are we a stock market? And they're trying to do everything at once, which instead of appealing to everyone turns into appealing to no one, because people who just want to casually collect can't participate on the platform. I know they have to participate in this gamification side of it. People who want to do the gamification side of it are getting upset because Top Shot's trying to strike this balance where there's some collectible appeal also. And so the gamification of it keeps getting turned on its head, like the example we just talked about. The stock market side of things isn't really playing out. And so it seems like they lack a bit of vision right now. And I've always rallied against things like collector score and even flash challenges, because it turns it from a free market where people kind of focus on buying what they like to predicting what Dapper is going to do next, and that is going to have negative consequences eventually. And so I think that they have to kind of, I don't know, like rip off the Band-Aid at some point and say, here's what we're doing going forward. We're not changing this for the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, so people can actually buy with confidence again. Right now, the challenge is that people buy something and then Dapper changes the rules the next day. With the team sets, for example, they did encourage people to collect team sets, and they included historical moments in team sets. And then a couple weeks back, they kind of just said out of nowhere, by the way, historical moments are no longer going to be considered for team sets, but there are obviously a bunch of collectors who have purchased for thousands of dollars these historical moments in an effort to complete their team sets. And people are kind of just putting their hands up and saying, I'm not sure what to do at this point. Should I collect Top Shot debuts? Should I try and guess what's going to be the next flash challenge? Should I get my collector score up? Do I need to be paying attention 24/7? And I think they would be better served by just saying, here's our plan for the next 6 months. We may tweak supply up or down based on demand, but conceptually, this is the plan and the strategy, and we're sticking with it for at least 6 months. We'll give you an update in 5 months so you can plan accordingly.
Yeah. It seems like a symptom of kind of what we've seen play out with Top Shot a bit, which is, they have their roadmap, they're doing their thing. People complain, they think they should be doing it differently. They try to fold that feedback into their roadmap, at being reactive to what's being said. Sometimes that works out. And then sometimes it leads to conflicts with how they initially planned to execute things without that feedback, and just that push and pull of like executing what they think is the vision, and also trying to hear people's feedback and pull that in real time. And it just seems like this was an example of that colliding, their vision and kind of the people's vision. And then it results in a big old mess.
Yeah, it's definitely tough right now. And then, I don't know how they like rip the Band-Aid off now, because whenever they do, someone's going to feel like they've changed the game or moved the goalposts on them. And like those people are probably right to an extent. And there's definitely a level of, account values have gone down, so everyone's upset and will be upset with every decision. But at the same time, I think consistency at a minimum is super important. Consistency and clear and, thorough communications from the team is super important. And, they're like, just a note about the MSFE thing. And part of the reason people are really upset is there was commentary from the Dapper team saying that the Scotty Barnes moment had a lower mint than they expected, and that they were trying to essentially make sure that the mints wouldn't be that low again. And so the key takeaway by market participants is this is the bottleneck. This will remain the bottleneck. And so we will pay up for this. And then, that concept got rugged. And so it's just, it's a long line of things being communicated, people acting on those communications, and then the plan being changed.
Yeah. CSU, Ghost of Greg Oden, would love to hear your perspective on this as more of a hands-off macro Top Shot trader.
Yeah, I'm still trying to just figure out how I want to play Top Shot. That's how I got into the NFT space. I had the same kind of thesis and was lucky to have amazing mentors like Mike and Andy. And, even talking with Jack early on when we started Club Top Shot, like I wanted to own high-end moments from Series 1. And yeah, we haven't sold any of those. So I still am optimistic long-term that these will have, a really important part in like what this turns into. And I think Dapper Labs and Top Shot still will be a big part of the ecosystem. So I'm hopeful that, LeBron, Series 1 Cosmics, and Ja Morant's Series 1 #1 Cosmics, Zion's, whatever, those long-term have value. But yeah, I'm not into playing any of these other games at all. And that's why I haven't been as involved in like the Top Shot ecosystem, and just kind of sitting on my bags. And yeah, it hasn't been fun sitting on those bags. Like Ja Morant in particular, like the fact that it was a mistake to pick Morant over LeBron, but basically my thought was Morant has a chance to be like a generational player. Let's get his rookie moment. Let's get the #1. And the fact that that's not like an all-time investment after the season he had is a little bit discouraging, honestly.
Even
Jokic too. Jokic. I went out and bought a bunch of Jokic moments. Mike was telling me I was an idiot because he could never be MVP. Now he might be back.
Should we talk about how he's going to be back to back? I was thinking about that. I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast.
To make it through an NBA season where he's not MVP.
That was the very first show, Club Top Shot show you were on, Mike. It was to come on and debate Jokic. That was in January.
I think Mike's thesis was about bigs and like it's part of, I guess, Embiid didn't win Mike, and he had a pretty insane season. So you're kind of spot on. It's tough for the bigs to win.
Yeah, my thesis was Big hasn't won since like 2002, and for one to win, they probably need to average like a triple double and come in first in the West. And Jokic didn't do as much as that, so that I think my thesis was wrong. But I still think he like this year he's had to have like an otherworldly year to an MVP. But there's like 5 guys who can make a real argument for MVP.
Yeah.
Not when you start comparing their stats to Jokic. It's Jokic or Giannis. I mean, and Embiid's going to be right there too. But in reality, it's those 3, and it's not even close after that. And the gap, honestly, between, I mean, just look at Jokic's numbers and look at the team he played with. There's a bunch of, Murray's out the whole year. Porter's out the majority of the year. They have other injuries, and they still end up getting the 5 seed in the West. And I mean, Jokic had, from an advanced stats perspective, basically top 2 or 3 season all time.
Yeah.
It's like Jordan, LeBron, Jordan, LeBron, and then Jokic at like whatever, second or first, based on what stats you're looking at.
I saw someone in the chat asking about Candy and the MLB stuff. Pete, Andy, whoever. Did you guys ever look at that stuff? Like, that's obviously Fanatics backing Gary V, Michael Rubin, so they've got a good team. Obviously, the MLB license. I haven't gotten too deep into that stuff. I actually looked at the college stuff first. I was more intrigued there. Looked at MLB a tiny bit, but one of Mike's 40 tweet Twitter threads sold me on Champion, so I looked there instead. But
that'll be there. That'll be there.
Yeah, they just released packs recently. And I would say from my personal experience, my overall experience with Top Shot has had me avoid the Candy stuff because in my head, like, there's nothing that Candy's necessarily going to do that's, at least from what I've seen, that's going to beat out Dapper. And I'd just rather play in like football and basketball. But I'm curious what you guys.
Yeah, my thing is I don't really care about college sports. I don't care about baseball at all. I don't really have much desire to spend time on those.
You did your Wildcats dirty with that comment.
Yeah, I basically only follow college sports to follow Villanova college basketball.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, I haven't messed around with the Candy stuff at all, but it seems like some people dig it a good bit.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I like baseball memorabilia in general, but yeah, I prefer the champion story is fun. That like gets to the quirkiness of baseball. I like that, and I think I got a few Candy packs early on because the original community manager for Top Shot, Usman, he moved to Candy and was their community manager. So I jumped in their Discord pretty early to check it out.
I forgot to tell you, I was hanging with him all weekend. He was there hanging with the Dapper crew.
With Dua Lipa.
He wasn't at Dua Lipa, but
you took Usman's seat to Dua Lipa?
I might have, but it was funny. Like we were reliving the glory days. I bought my from the top, not the 23, but from the top and Cosmic through Usman. Like I sent him Bitcoin. Like I didn't even use ETH to send him to send the person the transaction. So I sent my Bitcoin to Usman, and then the transaction is like an hour long. When I bought the Cosmic, we did an ETH, but what actually happened was I sent my ETH to Dapper because I was going to buy off the marketplace, and I underpaid. And so my ETH was just kind of floating around for a couple of days. Someone bought the Cosmic, so it went from like 9 to 10K. And I was like, all right, I just got to buy off someone. And he like middleman the deal. Because back in the day, that's what they had to do to get the platform rolling. And it obviously worked. He was a huge catalyst for the run up.
There you go. All right, I think we should hop in an underdog dance draft here before these playoffs lock. But Mike, I know you have to get going here. I'm glad we were able to keep you.
Should I hit enter?
Top Shot. Just one sec. I'm saying
Okay.
goodbye to Mike right now.
But other people are gonna join. I'm gonna.
I
make my
know
spot.
you will all see when I enter. Mike, any other final things going on for you here before Jack gets an itchy trigger finger?
No, I'm feeling good about having done my taxes, and that's my highlight of the week. So
Me too, Mike.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. Really happy we had a full house tonight.
Yeah.
So this was a good time. Great to see all of you. Thank you, chat.
All right,
Goodbye.
Mike. We'll see you. Good luck with your stuff.
Thank you. Talk to you guys
So
later.
I've been drafting the dance, and
Same.
our first. Are you maxed yet?
Well, we know Andy's been.
It's so fun. I'm drafting it literally right now. And Andy somehow is like still shit posting throughout the whole show, which is just it's legendary.
I drafted on stream when we did it last week, and I was a little flustered, blew it, and then I'm finally correlating, and I think I've drafted 6 or 7.
I was dying at this. When you have Jeremy, the CEO of Underdog, who is highly incentivized to have this draft continue to pump, telling Andy to get back to work and stop drafting teams.
Yeah, telling an Underdog investor.
I've drafted Luca in every draft, so I need to fire.
No.
I need to fire some dances.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you guys want to, for content purposes, it's fun when we all draft the same team. But if everyone's trying to get their teams in, we can all try to hop in the
We can
same.
draft the same team. We can draft the same team.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's do it with the community.
I got some deep strategy on this now. I've gotten in. I love this stuff.
Who are you? Obviously, it's how the board falls, Pete. But if it falls perfectly, which 2 teams are you pinning in the finals?
I've been sneakily been getting Clippers and Nets, and I think that value is eroding now.
Wow.
But we might still be able to get it now. I've been getting Clippers and Nets with Milwaukee as an option, or Warriors as an option. Yeah. For example, my first starting team, this is a Utah Clippers Brooklyn team. I have Durant, Kyrie, Mitchell, Gobert, and Paul George to start.
Yeah,
Andy
Mitchell Gobert is alive now with Luka out for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you get the Clippers too. The Clippers are very live in my opinion.
You think they're that live?
Oh, that Kawhi comes back, which I think is 20%, 25%. Haralabob just tweeted about how good their defense is already in this. I haven't been watching since we've been on stream, but
yeah, they're killing them. I mean, not
the Clippers have a team that can be absolutely elite defensively. They have so many guys that can switch everything. You got Paul George, who's just an absolute stud. Yeah, they're gonna be tough to beat.
So, what's been your favorite pick to draft at 1 through 6?
Well, 1 is great. I mean, I have quite a few teams of just Giannis, Drew, Middleton, which you get to the top, and then I actually have quite a few Milwaukee Golden State Warriors stacks, which is
who just took Chris Paul 101.
I thought that was your burner, Jack.
I'm sure we got Clay in here too.
Yeah, Clay hopped in. Real quick too, just for people who don't know what we're talking about. So this is the Underdog Playoff NBA contest. And so what you're trying to do is there's multiple rounds, and the goal is to be able to field a starting 5 in the NBA finals. However, you also need to have enough firepower to advance throughout the other rounds. And so the settings, 1 guard, 1 big, 1 wing, 2 flex, 5 bench. And so obviously stacking up specific teams that you think are going to go far is a good strategy. But Andy, any other things? And we're actually on the clock here, and then we can talk more strategy. What do you guys see?
Oh,
see, they're taking Durant
with Curry out. I would take Jokic. I think that.
Well, we have 2 picks back to back.
No, this is obvious. We take Tatum and we take Jokic.
Yeah, it's not even a question. I don't think
it isn't, and hopefully we can get lucky who comes back, but unlikely.
Yeah, I think you could probably. Getting Brown will be challenging.
Brown, you're better off doing this at the 4. At the 4, you end up getting occasionally the Tatum, Jokic, Brown start. I've done that a couple times, but it's pretty wild that I'm never been busier, and I'm still finding time to draft these. And even in we're in the show, and I'm drafting $10 dance teams, and it's the most fun thing in the world.
Well, once you get I mean, it happened to me more with NFL, but once you get hooked on this format, I mean, you just can't stop. It's just hyper addictive. How many drafts have you done?
Every
Andy?
draft, you're like, oh, what if I get it? What if I could have gotten this guy? I was one pick off from getting the nuts sun stack. Realistically, probably like 15 or so, 15 or 20.
Yeah. And
what'd you do last year during football, Andy?
I didn't really do NFL best ball.
Yeah.
I was just doing the week. Let's see how many I've actually done. I've done 21 NBA playoff.
It's a good number. Have you guys, Andy, have you seen what are the biggest ADP shifts you've noticed since we did the Underdog stream last Thursday?
The biggest one is Luka with the injury, for sure.
Steph's dropped.
I've seen Steph dropping as well. I've also seen Ja dropping a bit.
Ton.
Yeah, I see he went the third round this time.
Like John the third. I mean, Pete thinks the Clippers probably are live against it. I agree. I think
they're super live.
Yeah, but I think you also
right,
the Grizzlies. I take a lot of Jaren because I think the bigs are.
Oh, we should pivot. And
double tap Miami,
Butler and Bam.
Yeah, it's not even bad though because you take Butler and Bam and you can get one more Miami guy, and then you can get if you can get Marcus Smart and Al Horford or something, you just have two really nice. You know, the one stacks of the 1 and 2 seed. It's not bad.
Yeah, and what are the brackets looking like for when Boston would face Miami?
It would have to be the finals. They're the 1 and 2 seeds.
Finals. Exactly.
That works out real nice.
Yeah.
So what are you? So 10 players. Are you? You just said, will you go 3 and 3 from the same conference, Andy?
I mean, if you have to.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get 3 players on the Nuggets that you feel good about. You can take.
That's for sure.
It basically is. Do you take Jamal Murray with your 10th pick? Is the question.
No.
I'm not.
Barton is the guy to take.
Yeah. And so then you can if you can get if in this next turn we can get 2, I don't know, Warriors or Cam Johnson and someone else on the Suns. It'd be Jay Crowder though. It'd probably feel pretty bad. Maybe Mikal Bridges if he falls.
So
if you could
my question is, are you taking? So you've got the 2 Eastern Conference teams, right? With Boston, we'll see how it falls, but Boston, Miami. You take Jokic. The Western Conference players you're supposed to take, I think you take Paul George, you take 2 stars who you don't necessarily think are going to go to the finals, and then the last 2 picks you pair with Jokic, or are you actually because if you build a Cam Johnson campaign team, you're getting killed by any Sun stack, right?
Unless you need the Jokic firepower to get out of the first round.
Right.
And then you could weed out a ton of them.
Yeah. But
yeah, I think the thing is probably that your Eastern Conference teams are what's going to carry you here is the odds you have a Suns stack and also Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are very, very low. Right. And so it's you're hoping that it's a Suns Heat finals and Butler and Bam are plus Bridges and Cam Johnson and campaign are able to.
This worked out perfect. We take Hero and Lowry, and we're just fucking waxed.
Yeah,
and we need guards.
Miami.
Yeah, Hero and Lowry, bingo.
I tapped out that last pick. That was bad.
What's up, Clay? By the way,
what up?
Lowry?
Oh, for sure, we take Lowry. We're a Heat stack here.
I know, but before Heat,
well, we need them to go to the finals.
No, of course. Is that not too overstacked?
No,
4. I don't think.
I did 5. I've done 5 a couple times.
Of course,
if you can get the 5 best players on the team.
By the way, we have Jokic and Tatum who are going to help us get through. The downside of taking a 5 stack is that you're the opportunity cost to get other really good players early in the draft, where it's very hard for you to advance. We have the nut start for a Heat stack. We have Jokic and Tatum complementing them. So those guys can carry us in round 1, and then we're just riding the Heat from that point forward.
So we're definitely done. No more Celtics. But we probably need to then. Are we going to build out Denver or make another?
We can see what happens. The biggest mistake that people make in these is they start overstacking early. Because I agree, Jack, your point is valid. If you're starting to take scrubs in the 5th and 6th round to just build out a stack, because you're losing a lot of equity to move through the first round. But if you have a like Jokic, that's why I think he's so valuable. Yeah, it's hard to stack Denver, but who's going to put more fantasy points than Jokic in the first
That's why
round?
I was taking Luka.
Yeah, and the same argument for Luka for sure. But now that a calf strain, you guys know, like
no, I don't think he plays in the playoffs.
Extremely careful with this.
Yeah. And the same thing was in. I mean, I was drafting Cooper Kupp as a one-off in the NFL one with the assumption he was like the Luka or Jokic, that I didn't think they were going to make a run. And then I would build stacks around that, but just trusting like, hey, if you get that 140 burger from Kupp, like that's going to be enough to advance. Yeah,
Exactly.
I guess
I got sniped on Bobby Portis right there.
Here's where we could go Jay Crowder and McGee and like just totally bite the bullet and hope that it's a Heat Suns.
I'd rather go like Fred and
we don't want
Eastern Conference. Another Eastern
we need Western Conference guys. Aaron Gordon's another guy we could pick.
Yeah, go Aaron Gordon.
I'm going to put Aaron Gordon in.
And then you can go.
Has to be Western Conference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't want Adams or McGee. You don't want another big. That's the thing.
I don't mind Crowder here.
I don't mind Crowder either.
Because
see, I don't think there's any. I'd rather go like Ant Edwards, who's just going to put.
But they're going to lose. That Minnesota's overdrafted right now because they're going to lose the Clippers here. They might not make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could 100% not even play.
I would go Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks I like as well. It's just like decent chance he plays. He's going to play a lot of games probably in the first round.
That was a really bad. Like there wasn't a great pick there. We probably should have dug deep like a Miami guy. I don't even know.
Well, then I don't like structurally. If you do another Miami guy, and then you can just do like a 5-1-1-1-1-1 with the West, and just basically mean you need a Heat final versus it doesn't really matter. From the Western Conference.
Go back to the players.
We can still
we messed up that pick.
Take there wasn't a Miami guy there that was super exciting though. All those guys are going to be available for the 10th pick.
I got a pick we should take, but actually Clay should take Kawhi.
Yeah, that's happening if he makes it to me this pick.
Yeah, Clay should take Kawhi.
Like we could with our last pick here grab what's the name of the guy who took Duncan Robinson's spot?
Struce.
Tobias Harris was such a bad pick.
Struce is really being underdrafted. He's
Struce Curry? Struce Curry?
I like taking him with the 10th pick here.
Yeah.
I don't mind going like a Will Barton here.
Yeah.
I got a shit ton of wings, but
we could probably use
the Wobbs the other night.
We still only have
How many guards do we have? Do we only have 2 guards?
We have 2, yeah.
Yeah, we need a guard.
All right.
I think is Struce a guard or a wing on here?
He's a guard.
Should be a guard.
Wing.
Yeah.
I like Struce a decent bit.
Tell me some other names I should have.
I like Barton.
What about Conley?
But
now
we're
they
running
may go through.
I draft Conley exclusively with Mitchell and Gobert.
You guys want Struce and Barton?
I think it's It doesn't feel great, but I think it's fine.
Clay, you got to get Ben Simmons.
No, it's definitely. I mean, Barton. Yeah,
that's spicy.
Those are the right picks.
Yeah,
with Jokic and Gordon.
You think he actually comes back? Is he going to play? I feel like it's such a tease.
He should.
It's like him or Levine though, because it's like I'm kind of investing in the Bulls low key as well. It's 2 teams out of
you have Vucevic and DeRozan, you can take Levine.
Yeah. I think I might just get some more point.
You just have so many guys in the East.
Yeah, well, I'm really banking on the Clippers too, and Kawhi coming back here, but kind of is what it is. There's not really anyone in the West that's like really excited about taking right now.
We got to do
like
one
campaign. Nah. Yeah, we definitely.
This is so fun. The playoff format is just absolutely dynamite. And Pete,
I'm going
hashtag
Levine.
$5,500.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my goodness, how
Yeah.
rich are you? You're getting killed by inflation.
Based on my my NFL Superflex best ball entries and my NBA best ball entries, my account's almost down to $0. I've done so many.
Get out
My,
that credit card, Andy.
more money.
We gotta put in a deposit via crypto option here on Underdog.
As an
I gotta
Underdog
go with
influencer,
bucks.
Rudman actually set it up for me, so my balance is a stable coin, and I'm actually getting 8% on that. So it's one of the perks.
If Rudman's watching, we got to get Andy some freaking influencer bucks in his account. I'll text Jeremy right now.
Wow, boosting to top it off. All right, let's. You guys want to do one more?
Let's run back.
Now that
Should we
we're-
run this one with everyone trying to get into it?
Yeah, we can try.
Andy
Oh,
really does
baby.
need the $100.
All right. I mean, there's no way this is going to work with people
Pete,
watching
count it
trying
down.
to get into.
Or
All right.
do you want to do a private one and share it with? It's
Oh.
more fun if you're all. in the
No,
thing,
no,
though.
do the dance.
I already jumped.
All right, Jackson. I just jumped.
No, I'm not in with you guys.
I'm definitely in with Andy then, probably. I don't know. Mine's wait. No, we're good. We're the
Yeah,
same
you
one.
guys are all
All right, I'm
gonna be
in.
together.
Oh, baby.
Did we all get in? Oh, look at this.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Damn.
baby.
We did it.
All right, at least I got some space between y'all fuckers. I got the turn.
I'll be out here
This
drafting.
format for the
Drafting
playoffs,
three.
though, fantasy plus
Yeah.
futures betting is just the nuts. We need more games like this. What if you guys had to pitch a fantasy / betting game? We got any ideas in the house?
What did I was
Oh,
actually
what-
thinking about.
Pete-
I was thinking about
Jennings, how do you
something
think
the other day.
like golf best ball would work? Like if you just kind of like were able to take them for like throughout the entire, I don't know, across a bunch of different championships.
Yeah. So I've had these conversations.
I'm sure you have.
The challenge with going throughout the whole year is you tie up liquidity for a year, which is problematic for the user and the operator. I like in tournament formats.
Ooh,
But it's hard to do best ball.
How?
Yeah.
Isn't that the easiest?
No, of course you can just do drafts. I mean, it's just drafts, right? Like,
Yeah.
so you mean you just draft teams, and that's probably best. But the one thing that would be interesting is like if you could implement some format where you had pre-cut and then you implemented something where people could draft again after the cut. That would be interesting.
I do really enjoy golf DFS.
Oh, it's
I
the
don't
best.
play it. Yeah, it's I don't play it as much as I would like to, but I'm getting into it.
I lost a cool 30,000 on DraftKings, 31,000 invested, $16 return last week. If you wanna
No.
$16.
Yeah, and then on FanDuel, I played one team, $2,000, returned 8,000. It's like, oh, classic.
So Durant just fell to me at 1/6.
That's a smash.
Smash with Jokic.
Yeah, that's nice.
That
I would
feels
take
good.
Kyrie over Jokic though in that spot.
Yeah.
Stack it up, Jack. Lean into the correlation.
You got to try to win this thing. It's 30 grand up top, 15% of the prize pool.
Yeah, here we are. Prize pool, 30K up top, 10K second, 72.
You got to play to win.
I already have a winning draft though, so now I'm
No,
drafting for like
You
just
don't. Wait till you
top
see
ten.
some of my teams, bud. It's
Wow. Tony says our base Frank in this chat is a proof collective holder. You know, we're in the
shit.
midst of a 82
Oh,
ETH whale.
Clay
Midst of
just
greatness.
drafting to destroy Jennings.
As he should.
Yeah.
Actually, to
Wait, what
destroy
did I
me.
just do?
I started out with Booker. Come on.
Clay just
I took
CP
CP3 and
Aiden.
the turn over Joker.
Oh, that's sharp. That just fucks Pete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sharp. Anything that's fucking someone else but me.
All right, what do I do here, guys? So you guys said Luke is hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Jaws hurt too?
No, Jaw's fine.
Jaw's fine. Jaw's fine.
Let's see.
Bro, the
Pete-
Grizzlies are a 2 seed. What the fuck?
I'll fuck Pete over.
No, don't do that. Do Jaw. Oh, you're such a
Fuck
cocksucker.
you. Fuck you.
All right, fine. All right. I can battle back to that.
Good.
I'll take Jaw.
What
Good.
do I do from here?
Imagine making your first Top Shot investment before the market 20x's in Ja Morant and being dead. It's devastating.
Devastating.
Yo, how long is Steph out for? Is he
He's
He'll be
uncertain for
He's
game
practicing
1.
this week.
okay?
I don't think he plays game 1.
This is a hard pick.
Who you guys? You got Harden and Embiid. That's nice. I started my first one like that today. Jimmy.
It's one of those ones where he's just better than the other. It's like I could take him or Donovan Mitchell, and it just that's probably not the right thing.
Who's
but
better, Jimmy Butler?
as far as positioning in the playoffs and chances of playing multiple rounds? And
Jennings, I got Kyrie all the way back around.
Oh, now we're all dead. Jack just drafted the winning team. Kyrie, Durant, Jokic.
Yeah. Who do
Who
I
else
take?
you get the turn?
Wow.
Well, who should I take? It's Bam, Mitchell, Jaren, Gobert. I don't even know.
Man, those Jazz guys are normally good at that spot, but you
I
got.
know. Yeah, I think.
I don't mind the Jazz guys still.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Or maybe Bam. No, I have my East. Okay.
You need to stack the. Nets.
The Nets. Yeah.
Make sure to get like Ben Simmons and like Seth Curry or.
Are you
Bruce
drafting
Brown
Ben?
played well.
Oh, I'm drafting Ben for sure.
Oh, I don't think he plays a minute.
I'll bet money on that.
What do you know?
Yeah.
I think Ben Simmons plays in the playoffs.
When's his first minute?
When they come back to either game 5 or maybe one of the Boston games, but I imagine they bring him back for game 5, and I bet he plays like 10 minutes.
Yo, that was tough. I went a little chaotic there. I picked Bam, and then I just kind of had to take Jalen because he was just like he dropped far enough, and I need that wing spot filled. So I set up for 2 Suns guys out of the West, and then kind of, wing it a little bit in the Eastern.
Who'd you take? Jalen and who?
Bam Adebayo.
So who are you taking, Pete? Kawhi or Ben Simmons? If you could only pick one.
Oh,
you take both.
Perfect. And see, this is what's so ironic. Pete tries to fuck me, and then
I
Jaren
wasn't trying to
Jackson
fuck
gets
you with that.
all the way back, and I get Brook Lopez.
Why? Who do you have? Do you have Ja?
I have Ja, Jaren Jackson, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez.
Oh, that's nice. Is Lopez go before Portis? Portis just dropped.
Don't talk about Portis yet. I need him to get.
I got cucked on Portis last draft.
I will spite pick Portis.
Don't do it, Pete. Don't do it.
Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing and no joy in building a coherent team, but it'll bring me so much joy to cuck you.
Shouldn't have said anything. Andy, how well do you know Adam Levitan?
Not that well, but
the rivalry that's become an amazing matchup in our local pickup games. That hasn't happened that much, but it's such a unique matchup. Is Adam Levitan versus Jeebs? You know Jeebs, obviously.
yeah.
Jeebs is such a homie, and both guys. I don't know who's taller out of Levitan and Jeebs. Jeebs can really hoop though, and
Really?
it's an epic. He's got all 5 tools. He's a great shooter, passer, creator.
Who's Jeebs?
He's a big guy in the crypto space, A+ person. He's got a Toad as his profile pic. Andy, I don't know what else you'd say. I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff for funds and pretty active in Web3.
All around nice guy.
Yeah, super awesome guy. But it's funny. We have a rivalry building. Both of them
I
can
love it.
really play.
Hey, Pete.
Don't do it.
Sorry, bud. I already took Drew Holiday. Got to round out my bucks.
That's fucked up.
Well, it worked out perfectly because I set you up so I could get my Memphis guys.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got Bain and Adams, both pretty good value right there.
I'm going to have to take a... You know what? For the brand, FEV.
Now we're talking. Let's see your team, Pete.
I need bigs. I have 3 Phoenix, Booker, Bridges.
Your team's actually
and
looking
Johnson.
pretty good.
Thank you.
I was ready to shit on it, but it's looking good.
You're gonna send Peter back in the last stream.
That's right, Frankie. I am. It's all about.
I was mean. That's because only people I'm mean to are the people I care about.
Ashley somewhere in the other room nodding.
Oh,
I need
man.
some bigs bad though.
How can I screw Pete here? What do we got?
Oh, damn. Toronto plays the 76ers. Oh, fuck me, man.
Underdog really needs to go huge for the playoff best ball next year because everything's sold out early. They need to do
No,
something.
I wish I was getting the nuts. My team is not good. I have a great Sixers stack, but otherwise,
that's all right.
Otherwise, my team is fucked.
That's fine. You can easily win that way.
Yeah.
As long as you have some path to winning.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It's crazy to see how much Cat is dropping just from them being down by 6 points with 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
When do playoffs
1
start?
point game.
It's a 1 point game?
Yeah, they just made it through.
Oh wow.
As I'm building out my Clippers stack.
Yeah.
Oh, but Towns has 4 fouls with 3 minutes to go.
So playoffs start on Saturday. This locks Saturday. Might be a little bit of overlay. So get your entries in.
There might be overlay. It's going to fill early.
I want to say, like, this is gonna fill quickly.
It fills on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We're at 72%. Yeah.
Wow. I remember drafting my teams at brunch before the game started a year ago. It's been a long year. I didn't ship any of the. Rubman actually got mad at me because after last year's, I was like, how could you even win this thing? It's completely random because last year's playoffs, it was like Harden got hurt, then Kyrie got hurt, then Giannis was missed the game, and then Chris Paul missed the game. Like your Sun stack didn't have Chris Paul for a whole series. It was just like the wonkiest thing. I have a really good team over here.
In your solo draft?
Yeah, but I'm very lost with what to do.
Me too. This is a really tough next pick.
We're all so deep.
Great content.
Great content.
Oh man.
All right.
It's the best part of the podcast feed.
What was the craziest thing on our draft on Thursday when we got Clay in the 7th round?
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
Clay Sutton or
It does throw me sometimes when I am like have headphones in and I hear a stream refer to Klay Thompson. I'm like, knee-jerk reaction. Like I think I'm getting called by someone from the computer.
What's the most unique thing you guys have seen in Web3 in the last week or two? Like anything innovative, anything cool?
Man, I don't even remember what's happened over the last 2 weeks.
It's a long time.
I know I haven't been paying much attention to NFTs the past month or so, I'd say.
The Omni-chain stuff is cool with like Omni-chain NFTs. I'm excited to see more kind of play out in that world. Forgotten Rune Wizards did a cool thing today where you had to like connect with other owners who had particular types of wizards in order to like unleash the beast. And, like started
That's
an
cool.
auction. Yeah, it happened really fast. I was surprised. Like people coordinated really, really well.
That's
I
really
owned
cool
like
from a community perspective.
yeah, and so they had like these 21 locks, and you had to have someone with a wizard with a spell work with someone who had a wizard with a key. And so like I had one of each, and I did it personally. Like I had them in 2 separate wallets, and I wasn't fast enough just as myself doing it to get it done because everyone did it so quickly. And so I was pretty impressed by that. They've done a really good job of like lore building and like creating community.
Someone tell me which big to take. I have a Phoenix and Toronto heavy team.
Maybe Powell.
Yeah, for
Robert
points in the first.
Williams.
Yeah. All right.
Pete, you should pull the draft board after this one.
I ended up feeling pretty good about my team actually. I have a
I'm picking Jalen Brunson here at Little Alpha. Luka being out, this guy could be a round one. And I have a pretty heavy, just brute stack. So
yeah, I ended up being heavy Sixers.
All right, I have real quick.
Clippers.
I have Kyrie, KD, Claxton. So I have 3 nets. Is it better to draft Ben or give myself 3 2 stacks? So like I have 2 Jazz, I have 2 Clippers. So should I go 2 Nuggets or another net?
no, Simmons.
Simmons.
Trust me.
Okay.
Simmons is going to come back in this next round. At
But 10 minutes.
the latest if they advance, he'll be back to start the other round. I guess the downside is how much is he going to play, but man, they need him defensively. With time, this Nets team next year, if they get Harris back, they sign Kyrie and they have Simmons, I mean, watch out.
All right, so I draft Simmons, Aaron Gordon, or Kawhi. I already have
Jokic?
I have Paul George and Jokic.
I think since you drafted Simmons, I mean, it's pretty risky. I'd go Gordon.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I shipped.
Because now Nets Nuggets gets you there. I mean,
got-
Kawhi's probably.
And us floor seats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We get floor seats if Bitcoin's 100K and it's Nuggets Nets, I believe is what we said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is live now that Steph's out.
Imagine Jack shipping the Underdog content.
Andy-
100K Bitcoin, I'll be thrilled to bring you guys to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was the guy that was buying a bunch of Bitcoin? Was it the Terra guy?
Oh yeah, Duquan.
Daquan. So if we're at like 90 and we're getting, nets and nuggets, we're gonna need some power players to step up and push this over the edge.
Luna's down like 40% since then, and Bitcoin's down about 5%, 6%. Maybe a little
Wait,
more.
what?
Oh, no, that's not true. No, Bitcoin's down more. Bitcoin's down like, what, 15, 20%? Luna's gotten Luna got all the way to
time out. No one alerted us in the chat. The glue game, the Clippers Timberwolves game had to be stopped because a woman was protesting and glued her wrists to the court.
What the heck are people doing?
Glued her wrist to the court? I mean, is that the new like chaining yourself to a tree?
You won't be able to see, but like that, yeah. Oh my god.
I'll search for it here in a sec.
Holy shit.
All right, I'm tweeting out this draft saying people can let us know who won this one.
Wow.
I'm looking up glue.
That is perplexing.
Who has the tweet?
Oh,
here we go. I found it. This is some crazy shit. I mean, what kind of glue would even keep you attached to the hardwood? I mean,
what is it, Gorilla Glue ad?
This is incredible. Who is this? What player is this? He's like
Beverly. That's the best part.
Wow. I love that. That's better than a streaker, honestly.
Way better.
The glue
It's more
girl,
creative, that's for
It-
sure.
for sure. I think it would have been fun, like if you did go down with like chains and chained yourself to the pylon of the hoop. But the glue is right up there. Do we know what she's protesting? I assume it's something.
No, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, was the glue girl? Oh, here we go.
We gotta get the NBA League Pass stream because they have like all the camera angles. Somebody's gonna have that soon.
This is.
So how'd she get the glue into the arena? So let's assume she gets the glue into the arena. She has to plot the perfect moment. They're down on the other side. She glues her wrist and then plops it down, or yeah, he's gonna have a great picture.
Yeah. This is incredible. All right, guys, we're gonna have to stay tuned. Okay, there's a nice zoomed in photo of Glue Girl. All right. I will say for as much as I like the NFL, it cannot hold a candle to the ins and outs of drama in the NBA on a nightly basis.
Nuts.
All right, guys. This has been fun. I want to go draft more NBA teams. Any final words around the horn? Clay, what's the word on the Steedz drop? How has that been going?
It's going well. I think we hit over 1,000 minted about 90 minutes in. I'm trying to see what we're at now. I think closing in on 1,300 or so. It's going well, man. Exciting. The art looks super, super dope. A lot of fun stuff to come with Steedz. So it's gonna be a good time.
Nice, man. Congrats. Pete, any final words for you? Glad you were able to join us tonight.
Yeah, sorry for being late. It's always great being with you guys. Ton of fun. Happy we're doing this instead of getting embarrassed in the Lone Tree Basketball League. So we're thinking about running it back next spring, which could be embarrassing. But yeah, awesome being with you guys. And it's a wild world out there. Be careful.
Jack, I think you need to restore some confidence in Snapback Tendy Nation right now. I know they're a little worried from what they heard earlier. Can you give them a rallying cry that their tendies will be there and they will be delicious?
Not only will your tendies be there and be delicious, but your tendies are available on Sundays, and some other national brands cannot say the same. I was actually looking. I was like very curious.
Jack going after the Christian community now with this marketing plan.
I'm Jewish, I'm Jewish. They don't. We have different beliefs, but I was curious, like, I was like, all right, if we could get 1% of Chick-fil-A's market share, what would that be? Like,
you're fucking filthy rich, bro.
Right. So
if I can get 1% of Amazon market
fun
share.
game of Laden things. I know the answer.
Jack just did the equivalent of like there's 10 million millionaires, but there's only 10,000 crypto bucks. But for chicken tendies,
There are 3 billion chicken tendies sold in the US.
I doubt we get 1% of Chick-fil-A's market share, just because we'll expand into other items, and they're kind of like lame and they just stick to chicken. But do you guys know what their 2021 revenue was?
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
I'll Google it. If you don't
know. I know.
Don't Google it.
I want you. I know. That's why.
Okay.
That's why when I said it, I was like, I'm curious what it actually is.
I bet it's a very godly sum.
Everyone guesses.
What's the holy number?
I would guess $5 billion. Luce says 2.2 billion.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess 18 billion.
5 billion.
16.9 billion.
So we have like 2 16s and 2 5s.
5.8 billion.
Damn, you guys are good.
5.
I wanted to go way high.
Billion.
Chick-fil-A is such a good business.
And what did you say you're coming for, Jack? Just 1% of that.
Just 1%. I'm not being greedy. Like, I'm not asking for 2.
50 million is no big deal.
$58 million would be insane. So yeah, we got that. Steedz, our FCF team kicks off on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be in Atlanta.
NBA
I'm excited.
playoffs.
I'll be there game 1.
Oh, you're gonna be at the game? Nice.
Yeah,
A lot of
should be
exciting
fun. So I'll take a
stuff.
lot of videos and photos from the suite and stuff. I think Stevie Aoki's performing for the first game, second session, but should be fun. They had like a tester on Saturday night. They were streaming on Twitch, and it was like
It's
it
dope.
was pretty sick to
The
see.
arena,
So,
I mean, being down
yeah.
there is really cool. And you'll be a
It's fire.
woodpecker. The suites are, I think, on the ground this year.
yeah, right there. Oh yeah, we're throwing an event Friday night too at Sweetwater Brewery for Knights
you go.
and wider community that's down there for
You
FCF
guys do a
weekend.
good. I'm not sure there's another NFT project that gets out and hosts more events and has a presence at more events than Knights. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't know of them.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Pete.
we try, man.
We'll,
It's fun.
We'll send you that half an ETH for that plug later.
Well, if I could just get a gas refund on my Steeds from tonight, I'd do that on show, and I think it'd be a class act from you guys to send me back my $69 in gas fees tonight.
I love that Max is joining at 10:55. What up, Max?
Hi, Max. Andy, final words for you, other than we need to get you and Logan Paul on a debate show.
Speaking of Logan Paul, he just announced his new project, Originals, which is a fork of
NFT.
Nouns DAO based on. I'm not even kidding. It's a fork of Nouns.
He's just
I'm not
coming,
kidding.
Andy. He's
He's
clearly
not
just
kidding.
following you and
No.
just emulating
It's a
everything.
fork
you're
of
doing.
Nouns
that was
DAO
serious?
What?
of 99 of his Polaroid shots. But unlike Nouns DAO, he's taking 50% of the auction fees, and then 50%
Like Meta.
goes to a treasury. And
What's
that treasury.
Nouns?
So Nouns is no fees. It's 100% goes to the treasury.
Well, Nouns isn't it. You said it yourself. The Pauls are good businessmen. Nouns
Yeah.
DAO, not so much.
When you started that, I thought you were going to say he slid into your DMs because the way that you started out that.
Wow. I really, you talk about wallet watching in the space. I think Logan Paul's watching your every move, bro. I think he's tailing you. If we see Logan Paul in the Underdog best ball streets, we know what's going
Please
on.
give him a code. That would be lovely.
Jeremy's trying to save some drafts for him.
Yeah, as goes to Greg, Logan is copy trading Andy's life.
Wait till Logan Paul buys some of my fake Andy tokens. Then we'll really know. Those
Wait
are
till
still
Logan Paul buys
available,
some
by
of
the
your
way,
tendies.
on fractional.io if anyone wants to scoop some of those.
Do you know what would help Logan Paul out with all these random crypto and business ventures? If he did propose to an accountant, I think that would probably make his life a lot easier. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Shout out Underdog Fantasy. Go in there and fill up the dance here before the playoffs kick off on Saturday. The chat, you guys are awesome. Dare I say, you're the glue of this show. Please just pull yourself off of the hardwood before we leave tonight. For Clay, for Jennings, for Settlement, for Andy, for NBL, this is Club Top Shot. I'm Pete. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.